Hi, and welcome to Chapter 12. Chapter 12 is all about managing and leading hospitality enterprises. So, we will be discussing management, the objectives of management, and leadership. So, what is management functions? A nice 5-mark question. So, a manager obviously has to plan, strategic planning, plan ahead, what is the plans, what do we want to do, goals, objectives, those things. They need to organize. Whenever you think about organize, you need to think about the organizational structure. So, that means, with regards to staff. They need to put staff in the correct positions in the hierarchy that fits their positions. Then with regards to commanding, they need to, be good leaders and so forth. Lead them. Coordinating, they need to lead them into the right directions, um, give them advice and so forth. And controlling, all aspects of controlling, evaluating, and the like. Then, with regards to a task of a manager, they need to set objectives. So all staff and themselves needs to have something to work towards, to like a goal. With regards to organizing, the same thing. With regards to motivating and communicating, they need to motivate their staff. If staff isn't motivated, obviously nothing will get done. Motivating with regards to rewards, incentives, things like that. We're communicating with staff often, have an open door policy, emails, things like that. They have to measure performance. Staff needs to be measured, so they can have performance evaluations with staff. They can do this every 6 months or on a quarterly basis, or whatever the case may be. They need to see the strengths of their staff and their weaknesses. They need to assist staff to make their weaknesses strength. They need to find the staff's good things and reward them, but they also need to find out what the staff needs to work on and better that, and then develop people. Staff needs to be trained and staff needs to be, developed. And that's what the management tasks is. Then, with regards to service, what separates hospitality management? So there's basically 4 dominant service characteristics. The first one is intangibility. We've spoken about intangibility before. Intangibility means, with regards to service cannot be touched. Okay, it's something that needs to be experienced. With regards to heterogeneity, every transaction is different, every person is different, every need is different. Inseparability, it means that the services that the guest consumes is at the point of production. So, it's at the end. Perishability means an unsold service is gone forever. So if it hasn't been received, it's prepared, but it hasn't been received, like a room was booked, the guest never showed up and it was never sold, it's gone. It's gone forever. You basically lose that room money that you could have made. So with regards to holistic views of service, very important. We know that time is of importance for every guest, so time matters. Customers participate in their service experience. So obviously we know that customers are involved in the whole customer experience. Like for instance, when you pick up dry cleaning, visit your bank, use a retail website, for example, your own resources interacts with those of the organization to create an experience, whether it's good or bad. Services are place dependent. For example, service takes place wherever the customer wants or needs it. So it can be wherever. Other factors or actors can influence service delivery. Think about it. If you stand in a line, the people around you or the environment around you can either make you be happy or not. So, the physical environment. And then service is a fundamentally human endeavor. This can either be a blessing or a curse. Then emotional labor. This is quite interesting. What is emotional labor? So emotional labor means that it's a real work of deploying one's personal emotion in the service of an organization. You're basically putting your real feelings or your real emotion in your work, whether you love your work or not. Okay, so it's not just always money that makes you happy, it's the love of what you are doing. For example, teaching, or is my absolute passion. It's not about the money, it's absolutely loving what you do. And you can see that on a person's face, whether they love being here or not. I'm taking some cashiers at a supermarket and they sit there and ring your stuff. You're like, wow, you look so happy today. I mean, you can see their emotional display. So the frequency of people's emotional display. And remember, emotional display, I am talking about the frequency of your smile. How do you, when when a customer is having a problem or whatever, how do you sympathize with them, for example? Um, Attentiveness to require displayed rules. Do you obey rules about the duration and intensity of your organizationally planned mandated emotional display? I mean, do you actually care about the rules? Variety of expressed emotion. Are you expected to display a range of emotions during your workday? I mean, are you expected to be positive, neutral, or negative? So, and then emotional dissonance means this is simply the distance between the mandated emotions you project and the ones you actually feel. So when you fake it and when you don't. So the importance of leadership. So there's different types of power that comes with, I would say, authority, the basis of power. So the first one is referent power. You won't necessarily have authority. Referent power means somebody you like about that person, or you identify about that person. So they have some kind of authority because of who they are, a characteristic of some sort. Expert power is they have a qualification of some sort. So they know more, maybe more than you, that leader. They know more than you, so they have expertise, so they have expert power. Legitimate power basically means maybe they, like for instance, a police officer or a judge, they have legal power, legitimate power, so they have legitimate power. Reward power is the power that somebody have to reward or to give out rewards, and coercive power is the opposite. They have the authority to give out punishment, for instance. Okay, so those are your different types of power. Then there is 4 basic strategies that a good leader should follow. So business leaders employs 4 basic leadership strategies, and I think one of the best leaders in the world that I really look up to is Richard Branson. And I do believe that he is most likely one of the people that follows excellent leadership. He does believe that, his people come first. Happy staff, happy customers. And I also agree to that completely. So the first strategy with regards to basic leadership is attention through vision. So you need to have or create a focus for your organization. So it's almost like you need to have a clear idea of what you want your organization to be like. Okay. And you need to get your employees to share in that same idea. It needs to be a clear idea, and you need to install that idea into your employees. Okay. And it needs to feel good to them. Okay. So you need to pay attention through that vision and share that with your employees. And we'll get to communication, because that is the cornerstone of any type of relationship. Meaning through communication. So that is now translating those dreams into reality by getting others to share in it. Okay. And you can only do that by being committed and being enthusiastic. And you have to have effective communication. You can't speak down to your staff. You need to be one of them, basically. So you need to effectively communicate. You need to also communicate it to them in a way that they understand. You can use different methods. You can write inspiring memos. You can have motivating meetings, for instance, that has good visuals. Maybe video clips that is very motivating, for example, analogies. You can have notices everywhere, or whatever the case may be. The thing is that I'm saying is you need to mean it, and you need to motivate your staff. Okay. But you need to concentrate on direction. When you say we are going to do it, you must mean it. Okay. Everybody in your organization needs to share in the same idea and dream. If there's one rotten apple, they're going to affect everybody else. So everybody needs to believe in that dream, and they need to share in that dream. The next one is trust through positioning, and the word trust is very, very important. You as a leader need to know how to steer a constant and steady course in the direction that you've laid out. You can't be 1 minute like this and the next moment like that. Your employees need to be able to trust you, and they must know that they can rely on you, meaning that you said this is how it's going to be and this is how we're going to do it, and mean it. So your staff know that we're going to do it whatever it takes, and you said it's going to be like this, so we know it's going to be like this. You know, your employee knows what you said, that you actually meant it. You as a leader hold on to your principles, your ideas, and your vision. They trust you. Okay. And trust is really earned. It's not just given to you. So whatever happens, because every day things happen, we don't always feel the same. And remember, a leader and a manager is also just a human being. They can also have an off day, but you can't let your staff be deterred by something like that. Okay, you as a manager or leader can't be deterred by obstacles, no matter how high or how insurmountable. Remember, obstacles happen. Build a bridge, get over it. Okay? It's there to be a challenge. See it as a challenge. Okay? Get over it. So you said what we're going to do. You meant it. Let's move on. And then self-development. You as a leader also need to know that you are a human being and that you can make mistakes, and you also have weaknesses, but you have to compensate for them. Okay, so you need to have the capacity to develop and improve your own skills, and that makes you distinguish from other leaders. You need to have a very strong feeling of self-worth, believe in yourself, and know who you are and what you are capable of. You need to act based on your confidence and your own abilities. I mean, you didn't get where you are because of other reasons. It's because of what you are capable of, your skills and your abilities. Also, you need to value and respect others. Give other people work because you know they are capable of doing that. You need to understand that you can't get others to follow you willingly unless it feels good to them. Okay? Very, very important that you don't criticize others. And also remember that don't be afraid to make mistakes. And also tell your staff that it's human to make mistakes. But they can't go and make the same mistake 5 times. Okay? A mistake is there to learn from, and they need to get better. Right. So also empower your employees to solve their own problems. That's part of empowerment. So I hope you enjoyed chapter 12. Please go onto YouTube and have a look at Richard Branson's leadership talks on TED. It's really very interesting. He has a lot to say about leadership and management. I think that's not somebody that you can look up to as a good leader, and also to become a good leader one day for your own staff.